How you doing, folks? This is Rex at the Buckeyenest, and we're doing another impromptu movie for you. And this gentleman sitting in front of me here, his name is Mark Conrad. And in a little bit I'm going to be stepping out here and showing you some more of his museum he's put together here. But he's the curator of the Miami Valley Military Museum.
Military History.
Military History Museum. And you're going to see some pretty awesome stuff here in a few minutes. But Mark's going to tell you a little bit about the museum and what goes on here. So, Mark, when did you finally come over to the VA and start putting this thing together?
In probably, it would have been 2001, for Veterans Day. They have a program up in the rec center, and I thought I would bring some items out for display, but at that time I collected German war relics, and obviously they didn't want a bunch of swastika emblazoned things out for Veterans Day. So I bought some World War II uniforms and helmets and some from World War I. And I had a pretty good display set up, but I had nothing from Korea or Vietnam. So all the vets from those conflicts, they were pretty unmerciful for about 2 hours, because they took it as if I was slighting them intentionally. So for the next year, and I told them I do this out of my own pocket, as I still do. Come back next year and guaranteed there will be something here for you. So I spent the whole next year gathering up nothing but things from Korea and Vietnam. In the meantime, I'd started getting rid of the German stuff, bringing more American things in. And about that time I met Margaret Krukmeyer from the American Veterans Heritage Center, who's responsible for preserving the historic buildings here. This building, Building 120, is the former patient library. They were here with, actually at the time, I don't even think they had an office here, but they met here periodically. And by then, I was taking artifacts around the state of Ohio, like veterans reunions, VFW meetings, things like that. But you might do 24 hours of prep work for only 2 hours of display time. So it was a lot of work input, but not a lot of output. So they had a building with nothing in it. I had boxes of artifacts and nowhere to put them. And I kept lobbying them to let me into this building. And I think it was probably when I told them I'd even clean the toilets for them, that's what really won them over, because they donated $2,000 to buy some antique display cases, and I got a key to the building. And since then, things have just taken off.
I can see that out there. You actually need more room on the first floor for different display areas.
Oh, I need about 4 times the space that I have now, because everything that you see out there, that's a fraction of what we have. Every week we get something in. You notice the Korean War Navy uniform that I got today.
Yeah. And you went to Kettering and got those yourself, right?
But we have stuff mailed to us all the time where people will just walk in, or every now and then we get what we call a drive-by donation. You come in, there's a garbage bag hanging on the door with something in it. Unfortunately, the building doesn't expand at the same rate the number of artifacts do. And until we find out if we're going to get the National Archives or not, I'm pretty much stuck where I am, so you work with what you have.
What do you mean by the National Archives?
This campus is being considered for the location for the VA National Archives.
Oh, okay.
So if we get that, they'll move everything from Washington, D.C., refurbish a couple of the old historic buildings here, and they'll have artifacts on display there, maybe even a museum, so maybe over time I'll merge with them or something bigger will happen.
Yeah, I'll pray for you, buddy. I hope it does, because it's quite obvious that you have your heart in your work. I just look around this place and I can see that they probably couldn't find a better man than you to do this. And I'm not telling you that to give you a fat head either.
Don't worry, I won't let it go to my head.
Okay. So, I got one more question for you, and then I'm going to kind of disappear and go do some footage on myself. But the room directly above us, okay, that has some historical value, doesn't it?
Well, we try to get as many people in here as we can. So the north side, which is the other wing, has some old medical equipment in it that was here when we came here. And one of our volunteers really took that to heart. Unfortunately, she's kind of gotten up in years and doesn't move around as well as she did. So I keep that going for her. Then the room above us, the Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, previously they would go to different people's houses for meetings. But since we had a Grand Army of the Republic camp here, and we were the national headquarters for a year, which the Sons of the American Revolution, or Sons of Union Veterans of the Civil War, are the lawful inheritors of the Grand Army of the Republic's possessions and traditions. This was the perfect place for them to meet. Centrally located, and it was, the Grand Army of the Republic headquarters, so what better place for them to have their meetings?
Yeah. Ron brought that to my attention when I did his interview upstairs, but he wasn't 100% sure about it, so I had to clarify it with you. So, Mr. Conrad's the curator at this location. What's your phone number, Mark?
They can call here at 267-7628 or directly to my cell phone, which is 902-8001.
What's the area code?
937 for both.
937. Because remember now, this is going out all over the world. So, and if you got anything you want to send in to Mark to donate for the museum, just give him a call. And even today, he went to Kettering and got this really neat uniform. What was this uniform you got today?
It's a sailor's uniform from Korea.
Sailor's Korean uniform. You're going to get to see a whole bunch more of that stuff out there. And this is the Putnam building on the Dayton VA campus, the building 120. So if you come out here, you can get a carriage ride with Leah and her crew, and Mark's part of that organization too, the Fort Freedom team. And of course, you can always call Mark and see what's going on his event calendar up on his website too. So until next time, folks, thank you, Mark, for your service.
No problem.
And we'll be back with you.